Kevin Sidebottom here, speaker, author, and trainer, and I go around and teach sales organizations and leadership teams on how to generate growth, trust, and influence with their customers and their teams. Today, let's talk about budgets, why we need them, and what's the final objective of a budget. Because budgets by themselves are really not that much entertainment. Really, they're not. Unless you're just a financial guru that loves playing with numbers, which I'm not, it's not a whole lot of fun. So why do we actually want to do a budget? Well, all the successful organizations I've ever seen and the wealthy people that I've ever met, including the thousands or I think 10,000s of people that Ramsey Solutions interviewed of millionaires, they did this one thing, budgeting. So, if nothing else, if you want to be successful, you gotta budget. And that can be budgeting your time, and it can be budgeting your resources, which is your money. Now, I've been doing budgets for about a decade. And before my wife and I got married, when we were dating, we actually had to sit down and have that hard discussion. She had to be able to do budgets on her own before we were going to get married. Yeah, because it's worked so well for me. I was able to budget so I can actually have everything paid off, except for the mortgage on my house at this point, which hopefully will be paid off in the next few years. Outside of that, that money is really going to be able to generate a lot of wealth for us because not only are we doing our retirements, but we're going to buy some investment properties. That's right. We're going to invest so that way we can actually retire, successfully and not have to worry about any downturns. And there's so many things of why you want your money to work for you. And that's what a budget does for you. It's kind of like the meat and potatoes. It's like doing the ab workouts so you can get that six-pack because donuts are not going to get you there. Okay? So we need to be doing a budget because we want to have a better future. Whatever that looks like, we need to make sure that we're budgeting for that. So we have to line item everything out that's going to go into that budget. What are our resources needed for? And if you haven't done so and you're going to do a budget for money, I highly recommend you take Financial Peace University by Ramsey Solutions. And no, I'm not getting any money for this. But I can tell you I've led 5 of those classes. That's right, 5 of them because they work so well. When I started using this process and all that he teaches in here, I actually became more wealthy. Even during this downturn, by using a budget, I was able to shore some stuff up, and we succeeded with minimal impact on our daily lives. So by having the budget, it actually made more security. Well, if the wealthy people are using budgets and they're successful and living well, I'm going to do so as well because I learned a long time ago, if someone's doing something really well and they're excelling, figure out what the heck they're doing and do it. So I do budgets. And we have line items for everything. I mean, from gifts to vacations, groceries, clothing, haircuts, everything. And I know it looks like my hair is probably not going to be needing haircut fund in the future. But hey, as long as I have it, I need to make sure that it looks decent. So I go and get haircuts. But we need to make sure that we're budgeting. So it is a core essential thing that we have to have. We have to have commitment into budgeting, or else we're not going to succeed. Now, one of the byproducts of doing a budget together as a team or with your husband or wife, significant other, is it actually builds communication between the two of you. And the number one fight and the number one cause of divorce is still about money. People get into disputes about money and someone cheated on them with the credit card and went on a shopping spree. Those are the reasons why people get into fights, because they're scared about money. And I believe a lot of the riots are because people are scared, especially during a downturn. They don't have food to eat. They got to figure out a way to get something of value and sell it to make money so they can feed their kids. So we need to make sure we're doing stuff before that happens so that way we're okay. I think there's a lot more peace confidence when you have a budget and an emergency fund, and you know how these different insurances work, so you're not getting hit with all these extra expenses that come out of nowhere. By doing these things in budgeting, you're going to set yourself off on a better place. Now, back to my wife before we were married. I literally, in the first few times, we actually had to slide a glass of wine over to her so that way she can make it through the budgets. Your first few budgets are gonna suck. Absolutely, 100%, because you're not gonna get it right, but you need to get all the information in there and do your best because it's okay to fail. Now, Navy SEALs have this thing called fail forward fast. And all it really means is you take a step forward, you look around, you make adjustments, and then you take another step forward. Look around, make adjustments, move forward. And that's why they're the most successful people, is they're okay with having little stumbles. Failure really is when you stop trying. That's when you fail, okay? By having little hiccups, it's okay. Now, I couldn't go, and I probably still can't go and run 12 miles flat out without probably keeling over and dying. But now if I put in a regimen of practicing over time, just like a budget does, I'm going to be successful. So we need to have that commitment that we're going to do this. Because if we're going to do this, it's going to take some grit. And by doing a budget, you're going to learn how to make grit. And you're going to have some fights. I mean, literally, she was bawling her eyes out because she hated budgets. Now, after probably 3 years, we're actually 5 to 7 minutes going, okay, here's the little things. Oh, do we need to make an adjustment? Great. Boom. I mean, we really don't have to spend much time on it anymore. But we do focus annually. Where do we want our money to go for this next year? Which, I gotta be honest, a ski boat is hopefully in my future. Yeah, that's right. She's all on board. We have to budget and how we're going to do it. We just don't go out and figure out how to pay for it later. We're going to go buy it cash because you know why? When you have cash, you can get better deals. Yeah, that's right. When you have those green Benjamins sitting there floating around, people get mystified by it and go, God, I want to sell this thing and I want that money. So they'll sell stuff a little cheaper so you can negotiate. It's actually kind of fun. Actually showed some friends of mine that we went into Best Buy and I actually negotiated with cash to get a better deal than what they had on the sticker price. Yeah, you can do that, especially when you have cash. And you know, every time you ring that cash register with a credit card, the organization actually has an impact of a few percent. So they have to buffer the price to add that few percent. Well, if you do cash, guess what? You can negotiate. So by budgeting and having that cash, you have more freedom. Yeah, I know, it doesn't sound like you get freedom, but at the end, when you do the budget and everything starts working, you actually have freedom. I mean, my wife literally gets a clothing fund that she can go blow the money on whatever she wants. If she wants to buy more shoes, she can go do it. And we're not impacting the budget, and it's her money to go blow and do whatever she wants with it. If she wants to get, quarters and throw them all over the bed and roll around on them, she can go do it. It doesn't matter. If I want to go buy, new boots or running shoes or whatever it is, or equipment for recording, I can go do that because I have a budget. And there's no someone standing over you going, well, you can't really do that because you've budgeted so people can go spend money. Now, I highly recommend taking Financial Peace University. And again, I don't get any money for it, and I've led a few of them because it works so well. I like it to help people, okay? Now, it's about $99 a year, maybe a little bit more at this point, but it's for 2 people, so your significant other can take it with you. And when you're in a group setting, you actually get more engagement and you learn more because you have discussions. It's kind of like football teams. They go through the game film to see what they screwed up so they can do better the next time. When you have these other people around, you'll actually do better and stay committed. So take the class, and there's tons of them. If you go on their website, you'll find out that there's tons of classes, especially starting out at the beginning of the year because, well, people want to get out of debt. All right? So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you like the video and it's helpful, hit like, share, subscribe, send it to somebody that it might benefit. That's why I do these videos, to help you. We'll see you next time.